At Mount Sinai, God comes down, but the people are told, do not come near to his presence. Remember, Christ has yet to earn back our access to God at this point in history. So the question becomes, how can God dwell with his people without destroying them? In the last video, we saw that God's presence comes down on the mountain. Fire, cloud, thunder. But there's a problem. The people can't approach. Because sin has turned creation into something like tohu wabohu. It is disordered. It is unclean. It is unsafe. So even though God is present, access is restricted. Which raises a new question. How can God's presence move with his people in a world that's been so broken by sin? Well, God's answer is a tabernacle. In Exodus 25, God says, "Let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell in their midst." Think about what this is. This is Sinai made portable. The same presence that's descended on the mountain now dwells in the center of Israel's camp. Cloud by day, fire by night. God is no longer just visiting his people, he's dwelling among them again. But the tabernacle isn't just a tent. It's designed to look like something familiar. It has gold, precious metals, cherubim guarding the inner sanctuary, a lampstand shaped like a tree. What does that sound like? It sounds like Eden. The tabernacle was a new Eden, a place where heaven and earth met, where God dwells with his people. But there is a difference. In Eden, Adam could walk freely with God. In the tabernacle, access is restricted. Access is guarded because sin has not yet been fully dealt with. So who can enter God's presence? Only one man, the high priest. He wears garments of glory and beauty. He bears the names of the tribes on his chest. He represents the people before God. And once a year, he enters the most holy place, the place guarded by cherubim, just like Eden. This is Adamic imagery. The high priest is like a new Adam. He's entering God's presence in the garden on behalf of the people. But notice, he doesn't stay. He doesn't restore access. He comes in and he goes out. Why? Because the problem of sin still remains. So the tabernacle solves one problem. God can dwell amongst his people, but it doesn't solve the deeper problem. The people are still unclean, which means the space must be guarded, the access must be limited, and the presence of God is still very dangerous. In other words, creation has been partially restored, but disorder still operates outside the Holy of Holies. So in the Old Testament, we have a world where God dwells among his people, but only one man can enter his presence, and only then once a year. Which raises the next question. How can this sacred space be made clean enough for God and the man to dwell together fully? Because a tabernacle may bring God near, but sin still stands in the way. And the answer to this dilemma is found in Leviticus 16 and the Day of Atonement. And once a year, everything in Israel stops to deal with it. So be sure to check out the next video as we study the Day of Atonement and how that impacts you and me today.